have a lot of talented seniors, more than last year. As you can see, there's a lot of great work. It's where we have held our senior show for 3 years in a row now. Great location, great place. We have amazing, talented artists that are going all over the place, all different colleges. We've had a lot of students win lots of awards all over the place, different contests that we enter throughout the Miami Valley. So yeah, just great, talented kids. That makes us very happy, and that makes our job rewarding, that even if the kids are doing it for fun, not going to do it for a career, I think they find great outlets in it. Well, you picked Tate's piece for the advertisement panel, and he was Best of Show at the Miamisburg Art Gallery. We have several Gold Key winners from Scholastic's Art Award, which is a national contest that we participate in. We had another Best of Show. I'm trying to think who it was. I think it was Megan Bell, who you also interviewed for the Middletown Art Show. So yeah, we have lots of good winners. Every year at this time of year, because I'm so close with each group that goes through, and every year I think this is my favorite group, but this may be truly my favorite group that's going through. Just good kids. Tate, who you met earlier, is so involved in everything. But just such a leader, and has been a real leader in my class too.
Okay, the work I have on display today is first I have a colored pencil drawing of a favorite artist of mine. His name is Steve Lacey, he's a musician. And I have a drawing with marker of my friend at a grocery store. So the drawing of my friend at the grocery store is on all of the publicity for the show today, which is a big honor. I don't really know what the inspiration there was. I just saw a picture of my friend. I thought, hey, love the colors in there. Thought it might be fun to do. So the portrait of Steve Lacey, who's a musician, I completed in about 2 weeks using colored pencil. And it really just uses a lot of blending with different colors to bring out some of the hues in the skin. And I thought the green background would complement it in a fun way, because I'm always about bright colors. My background in art is, I would say, a bit chaotic. I'm kind of all around. I like to paint a lot, but I think I'm best when I'm using pencils, because I have more control over it. But I've done murals, I've done a lot of portrait work, and it just stems from wanting to draw superheroes when I was a kid. My plans after high school, I will be attending Michigan State University in the fall, and I'm studying in creative advertising. I think the classes that I took at Springboro helped me because they helped me focus on what I was good at, and I was able to try a lot of different mediums and experiment a lot. I took digital design classes, I did some sculpture, and at the end of the day, they're all fun, they're all art, which I love, but it helped me focus in on what I really cared about, and I couldn't be more thankful for the opportunities. I think what I've learned the most out of my experience with Springboro was probably, if you care enough about something, then that causes a lot of other people to care about things too. If you show passion and you work on something, then other people will want to do it with you. And I think that is universal, but I think at Springboro it can be overlooked a lot. So as long as you care about something, then there's nothing else you can really do, and everyone sees that and appreciates it.
So the 3 of these I did throughout my school year. I did one of them sophomore year, the blue one, and then one of them my junior year, and then this last one is my senior year. And they reflect like my growth in sculpting, and it's a very cool process to be able to repeat this and see my evolution. I took like all the art classes possible. I've only really done high school things, and I really prefer pottery. I'm always on the pottery wheel. I've made over 30 things on the pottery wheel, so this is a real step out of my comfort zone, because it's sculpting. It's really awesome. I'm taking a gap year. I would love to pursue college eventually, but I'm not quite positive on what I want to do, but I want it to be ceramics, probably major in business, minor in art. I'll have to find someone where I could fire my pottery, but I have my own pottery wheel. I'm going to buy my own clay and just keep continuing to make things because it's my passion and I love it. And I love that I was introduced to it at such a young age. It's awesome. Miss Sav, she really encouraged and supported me through my pottery making. I'll definitely come and visit her just the vibe and the comfort of the art room that I grew up in. She always let me in her room all the time to throw on the wheels. She gave me different tactics to help with my skills and like just little tips and tricks, and she was always making sure that my pieces were done and all that. This middle one was supposed to be big, but ended up being a little bit tinier, so that's okay.
So the work I have on display here, this is one of my pieces. Oops, this is one of my pieces. It is a little rooster guy, and he's surrounded by chicken and eggs. I really love chicken, and I just like silly little pastel drawings, and I just thought of combining all 3 stages of the chicken food process on my piece. For a long time, like I just sketched and doodled like on papers and stuff, and I really thought like maybe I can take it somewhere because drawing was a nice pastime. It was really fun. So I got my first sketchbook last year, I think, and I just started like doing little sketches and stuff. It took me a while to get going, but this year in AP Studio, I explored all kinds of mediums. I used like resources that like I never even knew like were real. Like I didn't know what gouache was, but then I used it like just for my last piece, and it was really fun. So gouache is it's like a watercolor paint, but it has more pigment, so that like there's less layering needed. It's just really fun to use, and I already love watercoloring, and it's just less work and pretty colors. My favorite thing about art is it's just very relaxing. I feel like I can really just like be myself and express in any way that I can, like using like different mediums to kind of like portray how I'm feeling or like what I'm thinking. After high school, I'm going to Kent State University, and I'm going to be studying environmental social sciences there. It's just going to be a fun program about learning about the environment and our effects on it and how we can become more sustainable as a society. One thing I'm going to miss most about high school for sure is the teachers. Miss Grace, Miss B, Mr. Sandro, just list a few are like some of the favorite people that I really have close connections with there, and I feel like when I go into class, like that is my home, and I like really feel like I can be whoever I am there.
Today on display I have my punch needle caterpillar, and I have an oil painting of a raccoon eating trash. So punch needle is basically monk's cloth, which is like a type of fabric, and you staple it to wood, and then there's this punch needle, and you weave the yarn through it, and then you like poke it through the holes in the monk's cloth, and it comes out with this like tufted rug texture. So I worked on this for about 3 weeks, probably like 3 hours a day. So it is a lengthy process because there are so many loops that you have to weave through the monk's cloth. So I decided to do the caterpillar because I wanted to experiment with tufting and different mediums like textiles. And I thought this would be a fun way to capture the caterpillar on the leaf. And I did the oil painting because I wanted to work on my realism and like the texture of the fur on the caterpillar. I've been doing art for a while. Like I always loved art when I was a kid, and I kind of stopped doing it as much when I was in middle school, but I've gotten back into it like these last 2 years in high school, and I've just loved doing it. I plan to major in architecture at the University of Cincinnati. I would say one of my favorite memories or experiences is just taking the art classes. Like, it's so nice waking up and your first class is like one of your favorite classes or your favorite class, because it's like something you love and it's just a good start to the day.
This is my piece about human trafficking. It's something that really stands out to me. It's made from chalk pastels. It was actually my first piece of the year for my portfolio, and it really like stands out to me a lot. In my family, we've gone through like a lot of trauma and stuff, and I thought this was something that a lot of people don't know about. Like a lot of people, like just in the world in general, people don't know a lot about human trafficking, and it's a very important issue, and I feel like it just gets shunned lately. Like people don't pay attention to it as much. And so it's basically like a hand, and there's blood going down, and she has a barcode on her wrist, and butterflies symbolize rebirth. So she's basically reaching for like rebirth in life. And I just thought it was an important message, especially since I've gone through a lot of personal trauma, and I know how it feels like to be in that situation where you feel like you have no hope, and it really sticks to me a lot. to feel hopeful, knowing that even though you're in a really bad situation, like you feel like your life is over, that you still have hope, like reaching for a butterfly, like all that, it can just come back, like you can restart your life, just like how a butterfly sheds like a cocoon and stuff and becomes a whole new being. Actually, I got more into art when I was in 9th grade during COVID. I really had nothing to do with my time, and I just went to drawing, and it just kind of stuck with me, and I grew a love for it. I'm going to the Pratt Institute in Brooklyn, New York. I'm majoring in history of art. I will still be taking like intensive art courses like drawing, painting, but I'm focusing more on like the study of architecture, paintings, paints, and like paintings that like have been through like the Renaissance, neoclassicism, all that stuff. I really enjoyed going on field trips for art actually, because we would all go out and get breakfast and go to like the Dayton Art Institute and then Cincinnati, and just being able to see art with like other people that are gonna be pursuing art. It's like you really have someone to connect with, because it's really hard for me to go to museums with like people who don't know anything about art, but I feel like with kids in my grade, like we could easily connect, and it was so much fun and I loved it.
So with my work, I get inspired from, my culture, my Vietnamese culture and heritage. And so for this piece, I kind of just base it off of my culture and how I'm proud to be Vietnamese. The medium is oils. So ever since I was a little kid, I've always loved art. Ever since I could get a pencil, marker, you name it, I got it in my hands. And I loved going to Michael's and whatnot, art stores. I'll be honest, I didn't really enjoy Toys R Us that much. I was more of a Michael's connoisseur, an art store connoisseur. So after high school, I am planning on going to the University of Dayton. I plan to major in art education because of my art teachers are great. I love Mr. B, I love Mr. Burwald. I love Miss Crace. I love all the art teachers at the school. So I'm gonna miss my teachers. I love my French teacher, Madame Lamoureux. She's over there. But I'm really gonna miss my teachers. I'm gonna miss my classmates, surprisingly enough. I feel pretty happy. I mean, I never knew that my art was ever gonna be shown anywhere, because I just figured, oh, my art, nobody's really gonna care. But I feel really grateful that I can have it up to show my art and my culture and feelings and whatnot. They just let me do whatever I needed and give me all the time that I need in order to do my art. So I'm thankful for that.
So today the work I have on display is both of my pieces that are focused on dinosaurs, because I've loved dinosaurs ever since I could speak and see with my own two eyes. The first things I was obsessed with was dinosaurs. Dinosaur Train was my favorite show growing up because it was all about dinosaurs. I could memorize so many dinosaur names and memorize no math. So I always loved dinosaurs, so I'm happy to be coming back to them in my art. I like colored pencils because I feel like I have more control over them than markers or watercolors or acrylic paints, and so that's kind of a comfortable medium for me. And although like those other mediums, I definitely have to trust the process, because at first it looks really bad because none of the dark colors are there, and so I get discouraged. But then I just keep layering it up and then it looks good, and I'm like, okay, good. I haven't really pursued it professionally until this year, honestly, because I've only drawn animals and only really drawn doodles on my homework, and so I haven't really studied art yet. Like, I don't have any of the fundamentals memorized, and so I'm grateful to have this class, because that let me actually focus on what makes a good piece and also get to experiment with a lot of materials that I'd never used before. So I'm going to UC's DAP program to major in fine arts, so I can just focus all of my time and effort and passion on getting better at my art and hopefully drawing more than animals. I'd love to draw humans one day. I will definitely miss my friends. Having all your friends in one place is really nice, and all of my friends are going to different colleges, so that'll be tough. And I do like the local businesses around here. I will definitely come back for those.